Hello, everyone. Huge show coming up. We go through all the latest football news, including a massive deal offered to Harley Reid. We're joined by a very special guest and a new team on the Prophet Propeller, Daisy.
I'm excited that you're hosting. What an absolute delight. A bloke who's articulate, handsome, and not full of himself, and actually, well, not a top 16 draft pick, but my goodness, could you play? But we do have a guest. We do have a guest, and when you want fun and you want blokes who are a little bit loose, well, we've got him. It's the dog, Campbell Brown.
Good to be here. Taking me 23 weeks of this season to get on the famous Prophet Propeller
Show.
podcast. But here I am, baby.
Yeah, he's all across it, as you can tell. Well, what could possibly go wrong?
Mate, he loves the show, isn't a vivid listener, so please tune in. Lots to come. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Aces AFL show. Yes, you're hearing correctly. It is not Tommy Sheridan hosting today.
Good.
My name is Mitch Wallace, and I am your host for this.
You don't have to introduce yourself. You've been here for 21 rounds.
I have to, just in case you're not watching on YouTube, which you all should be. But I am joined by Dale Thomas.
Thank you.
One of the best media presenters in the land. And we have a very, very special guest joining us today, Dale.
Mm-hmm, we do. The dog himself, not Snoop. Arguably better. Campbell Brown. Brown dog, welcome.
Great to be here. Thanks, guys. Sheridan out, and I'm just a 1 week replacement. But I wasn't aware just how well this show's been going because Tommy Sheridan's flown first class over to France.
Yeah.
He's been drinking Dom Perignon out of the bottle.
And caviar, mind
We
you.
went to Nice for 4 days. That's how well he's going. 4 days.
So this is flying. I'm happy to be a part of it.
No, it's great to have you here. Snoop Doggy Dog or Brown Doggy Dog? Who would be a better time?
Oh, I think Snoop probably has a longer history of being a better time.
I argue, maybe not.
But it's good get by the AFL. I know a lot of people have aren't a huge fan, but he's one of the biggest performers in the world, and if he can showcase our game to a bigger demographic, I think it's a good thing.
And correct me if I'm wrong, you've seen him before perform.
2022 Super Bowl, SoFi Stadium, when him and Eminem and Fiddy, Mary J. Blige. Yeah, it was a good setup. So was it beautiful with Pharrell Williams? That's one of my favourites.
Wally, you a Snoop man?
Drop It Like It's Hot.
Yeah.
That was one of my, it's probably number one on Spotify at the minute. But no, I think it'll be good. Just something different. Obviously, Andrew Dillon's got around it and the clubs. And I did read something earlier that he's a Bulldogs fan. I saw him in a Bulldogs.
I saw him in a Gold Coast Suns jumper too.
Wow, really?
I'll give you boys the tip. I don't think he sponsors, he favours anyone. I don't think he supports them. He's just been given the jumpers. He's not sort of your Liam Hemsworth.
He's not. But and you're playing in a Legends game coming up?
Yeah, I've played in a few over the journey. Got a long history with the EJ Whitten game. My old man was actually the coach of the first ever game that was played at Whitten Oval. God knows, mid-90s, I reckon.
He didn't do any pre-game interviews? Didn't ask anyone to book a time?
So the game was a draw. No, this is a true story. The game was a draw. Eddie Maguire was a young up-and-coming journalist at the time, and he was pushing for, this is great. There's a draw. The players can play an extra, 5-10 minutes. They were all pretty tired, and he told Mel that they have to play time on, and Mel told him to go and get fucked. True story. A young Eddie Maguire, right?
I'm not surprised.
It checks out.
It does check out.
And so I reckon we're going all the way back to 95. We'll get Xander already to verify that story. But Eddie might have been the OG from Mel.
Wow.
I mean, there'd been plenty he told to go and get before, but such a big stage. So I love playing in the EJ Whitten game. It's good fun, but I'm certainly as deconditioned as I've ever been.
But you're playing against some royalty alongside you. Sheridan, Tommy Sheridan,
Yeah, Sheridan. Can't wait for Kane Corns to tag him. Pick 32.
Okay. Can you believe Tommy Sheridan was pick 16?
Was he really? I didn't know he was that high.
He told me and Daisy about 15
He said it, we nearly fell off our seats.
Yeah, he probably didn't perform like a pick 16 over the journey, did he?
Nah.
But no, it'll be good. Getting obviously had the hiatus after COVID and whatnot, but getting Gaz and Cyril and Benny Cousins and a few of those guys, it's a great get. So looking forward to it. Yeah. Not looking forward to how I feel the next day, but it is my birthday that night, 28th. So while I'll be playing, probably mediocre, I'll certainly be celebrating well
And
into the
enjoying
night.
yourself.
Bad night to be a
42 years
cruiser.
young. yeah. Terrible night to be a cruiser. Guava cruiser.
And last one while we're on you.
The brown dog, the hard man of the AFL, exclusively drinks vodka cruisers.
And Malibu pineapple.
Are you a celiac like me though?
Nah, I just love the taste of it. Yeah. In fact, there's quite a few venues around Melbourne and even on the Gold Coast that don't serve Malibu because it's not, for fine establishments, they don't really serve it. So I will walk up to a liquor land, buy a bottle and come back and give it to them. And they'll serve it to me, but they'll still charge me $10 a fucking drink, even though I've bought the bottle. Which
The economics work there, but
Outside chance you should be buying a hip flask. Just a glass
probably
of...
should. Yeah.
has anyone else ordered it while you've bought it and then
Very rarely. And then I leave it there for them. So it's a win-win for them. They get a free bottle. They charge me all night. But they do run out of pineapple juice.
You're the businessman, well.
Yeah, I just said, they're going well there because they don't obviously, there's no cost. It's just all green for them. But that last one, so hopefully we can get this graphic up. But the poker night at Warnie's, you were rolling, talking about some big names. We've got Brendan Vavola, Dyson Daniels, Josh Giddy. Talk us through how that went. Yeah,
well, Jacko Warren hosts us and we always play a few games. We try and get a game every month or two in. Dyson Daniel and Josh Giddy were in town. So they came along with Fev and Tunners and a few of the boys. And I know why they call him the Great Barrier Thief because he stole all my chips, mate.
Oh,
Dyson
really?
Daniel.
Really?
Got to the last hand of the night. I was actually in front for a change. I went all in with a full house, kings over fives. And Dan Hashem had aces full of kings, so he had a pair of aces, and I went chips in, thinking, how good's this? Last night, hand of the night, I'm gonna double up, and got absolutely
with your
flashed.
tail between your
Jeez,
legs.
it's a long drive back out of Brighton with all your chips gone.
Are we allowed to talk buying?
It was a cash game, so we
Yeah.
played 5-10 cash games, so $1,000 buy-in, and you could rebuy as much as you wanted.
Is that scary when you come up against a couple of NBA blokes who've got unlimited?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, like considering Josh is about to sign a $150 million deal with the Chicago Bulls, it's a little bit daunting, but it just sharpens your focus, Daisy, because you've got to play even better. You know what I mean?
It's on the line.
Everything's on the line.
And talking about on the line, it's a great segue into the Prophet
look at
Propeller.
We're 23 weeks in, and you blokes haven't won a cent.
So if you look at the graveyard here, we're running out of room. Look at this.
You're running out of runway, mate.
We've got no wheels or wings left. Anyway, very poor performance from the Prophet Propeller on the weekend. Only one leg hit. Do you know, I think it was my leg, but that's okay.
You've been on fire.
I have been on
Two
fire.
in a row.
We're going to pay out for that.
You should.
Do you want to just give a quick synopsis in 2 sentences what it is, just for Brownie's sake?
So we spin the wheel, local clubs write in, they go up there, the chance to be on the propeller. Whoever spins up on me, and Tommy pick a leg has to be $2 or more, any game across the weekend. The club then picks a leg, $2 or more. PointsBet gives $1,000, put it on, and if it gets up, the club gets the lot. So
they're licking their lips because we haven't hit.
$18K on the line, and we needed Mitch Georgiades for 3.
Oh,
No, 4, and he kicked 3 goals, 5.
Yeah,
So that's probably as close as we've come, the Wizard one time, but it's been good fun.
It'll change. Your luck will change.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
You win some, you lose more.
But if we
Well, in our case, you don't win any.
if we start talking about some footy news,
That's what we're here for, I guess.
a little bit
Plenty
we
happening,
digress.
isn't there?
There is plenty happening now. We'll talk about Nathan Buckley. I know you spoke, Daisy, at length about Buckley the other day, but he's emerging as the front runner for the new job at Melbourne because Longmire and Simpson both stood back and said that they're not going to take the job. What do you think? Do you think he's sort of come out and he's sort of, half in, half out, leaving the door ajar a little bit? Do you reckon he's going to take it? Is he the front runner in your eyes?
I'm still not 100% sure what Simpson and Longmire said in terms of, do they not want to go through a process? If a phone rings and goes, do you want the job? Is that different? I don't really understand as to where that lies. But in terms of Bucks, I think he would be a good coach. He learnt some lessons from when he first came in. He spent 10 years at the Pies. And he came in, went prelim, prelim first final elimination, and then no finals until 2018. So 2017, they were horrible, 9 wins and a draw for the season. And in 2018, he had a real shift in becoming more personable, actually investing and with the two-way street with the players coming back and not making it just all about football. and you could see the results they got there. So lessons learned. We all know that, Brown Dog. You learn a lot, and second time round you won't be making hopefully the same mistakes. And I sort of see how he will have to come in with some strong figures, sort of your Petrarcas, the noise around that, Oliver, May, Gawn, not too dissimilar to probably what he walked into at the Pies. Obviously, the connection we had with Mick, the sort of Rat Pack and that crew was different to what those guys had with Goody under different circumstances. But I think that would be a good learning for him, and he'd be able to steer them in the right direction.
And Browny, Paul Roos came out on air and said that they're still in a premiership window. If you look at their list, if they do get a new coach that rejuvenates some of those older players, that they're a contender. Do you agree with that statement?
I think in terms of ability, you could argue that they are still in a premiership window, but certainly not their game style. Yeah. Their ball movement and their inability to be able to turn inside 50s into scores has been their Achilles heel for the last 3 or 4 years, which has got them in this position. So if a new coach came in and somehow reinvigorated their ball movement and they were able to find a couple of forwards, the biggest issue with Melbourne, if you're the senior coach and you're coming in there looking at how you're going to get the best out of them going forward, all their best players are their oldest players. Yeah, so Jakey Melksham's leading their goal kicking. Yep. Done a great job this year, but he's 34. Max Gawn could be All-Australian again, but he's getting old. Tommy McDonald's still playing pretty good footy. Stephen May down back, 33. So what do you do with them?
Yeah.
You got to keep playing them, but it's sort of not helping that your best players are your older players.
You can throw Stephen May in that bracket as well, how important he is.
They have had some top and first round draft picks. You just got to get the most out of them. So Lindsay, Windsor, Langford and Tolstrup. Hard name to say. You got to say it wrong to get it right. Tholstrup. And a couple more. So it's the talent's there. They just got to maximise it. So those kids have got a really high ceiling because they haven't lived up to the potential that's obviously they've been seen. And whether or not it's a game plan issue, because going inside forward 50, we've said it a few times, doesn't matter if you had Wayne Carey there. He wouldn't be kicking a score.
And there's been obviously issues raised about the culture of the place and the buy-in from some of those players that you mentioned. Do you think a fresh voice like Buckley, who's been through that transition, as you said, Days, is important in all that? Because there's so much obviously that's been said. Now you take away the head figure and that person who sets the tone for the whole place. It's a really important appointment, this one.
They've got to sort it out. Yeah. And good clubs are stable from the top down. And that's, you can't have an interim president, interim CEO and no coach and trying to recruit players. I think that's why there's a sense of urgency around it. They're saying they want to get it done by grand final day, which is a good thing. Yep. But we all know when you're at a good club, it is streamlined, everyone for the same goal and same focus, which I don't think the D's have had for a long time, probably since they won the flag.
Yeah, and I think if you're a proper footy club, there's no coach out there that deserves to be given the job without due process. It'd be derelict in a board's duty to just go, horse, you've got the job if you want it,
have they
and don't present.
Right, though?
No, I don't think anyone's earned the right. It's too big a decision. And I know like they're great coaches and premiership coaches and whatnot, but you still need to sit down collectively as a board and footy operations manager and everything, get their idea of what footy looks like for this club, not just this year, but going forward, and where you want to take us and what are some of your ideas. And unless you have those conversations collectively, then you're not going to know. So
here's a question for you then. So if you're the board, would you go out to market and say who wants to apply for the job? Or do you go and seek out and do your own investigation and then go and get full candidates you go and pursue and say, can you give us a pitch for us?
I think footy club, the more candidates you have, the more ideas you get. You might have someone that you don't know a lot about that could be super impressive. For me, it's more about their personal skills than how they present, because on occasions some coaches and people applying for jobs present unbelievably on a PowerPoint. But then they get the job and they can't relate to anyone. They're terrible with their communication. So it's all done really quietly in AFL these days. I don't think there's any problem with taking your time, having 10 coaches apply, learning from all of them, and then making the best decision, because it's a massive decision. I mean, appointing a senior coach can have ramifications for the next decade, longer, if you get it wrong.
Well, you think with Tassie coming in as well, these next couple of years into that for the Ds are going to be super important.
Yeah.
But the Casey factor is still just going to be an asterisk that hangs over their head.
Yeah.
When you're trying to recruit someone, if it's apples for apples, you're going to Collingwood or you're going to Essendon, the drive to Tullamarine is, and I know you're a chance to do your ACL out there, they're going to fix that, but the drive to Tullamarine's a better prospect, in all honesty, than going to Casey. Like, it just makes it so hard for them. So if they can get that across the line, that Caulfield facility, I think they're going to go a long way in wanting to be more of a destination club.
And I never buy into, like, you hear these things in the media world, such and such is going to be a great coach and whatnot. Unless you've actually been coached by that person, how would anyone know? How would we know? You know, so that's the other thing. You know, sometimes the media drives the narrative around who's going to be the next up and coming senior coach. And
isn't it amazing?
It's journos.
You talk about journos. They said, they've sat and they've spoken, they've approached, and then you talk to, say, Nathan Buckley. You haven't heard anything.
Yeah.
The phone still hasn't called. Yeah, I know. But is he trying to dial that down?
So I think Buck's second time around will be much better prepared as a senior coach. He's certainly a different guy now than he was 10 years ago when he coached you, Daisy. You'd obviously know far more than I. But if he's willing and able, I think Melbourne would be a pretty good fit for him. He's got the profile. It's a big club, big Melbourne club. Be better than going down to Tassie. Like, I love Tassie.
I love Tassie too.
Would you want to live in Hobart?
The thing Bucks would be weighing up, and if he's been linked heavily to Tassie, I think you're more chance within a 5-year window to have success at Melbourne. With what you got, you can sort of do a little mini rebuild or building on the run, whatever you want to call it. If you go to Tassie, you've got to have the enjoyment of setting the place up for somebody else to come in and probably have some of the success and the glory. And whether or not Bucks is in that mindset, he still wants to be super competitive, still doesn't have the premiership, got so close, a Dom Sheed kick away. I don't know whether the development side would move the needle, and I'm sort of hypothesising here, but whether it would move the needle as much as coming in and going, I'm working with Petrarca, Gawn, Cozzy Pickett, and some of these young talent we spoke about.
It's a common question that players get asked. Are you chasing, an opportunity, some money to create and put your own legacy on a football club, or are you going to go to a club like Collingwood who's got a premiership window that's quite large? So great question. And Bucks has to ask himself, having been out of the game for a while, do you have the energy? Because it's going to be zapping. Going to Tasmania and setting that up. It's sort of
for punishment though, because his gig in the media is good.
Great.
He's flying too, and he's not doing it for
Simo,
three
that's what Simo said. Adam Simpson openly said, "Mate, I'm loving what I'm doing. It's different. I haven't got my head around even asking myself the questions about if I go to a new club, who do I bring? Have I got the energy to get up every day and start to create something new?" Which is which questions you have to ask yourself. And that appointment at Tassie, well, obviously it's a couple of years away. It's going to be a big appointment, isn't it? You talk about ramifications for the whole AFL, but we'll keep moving on. Collingwood. Now, there's question marks over Collingwood, and I know there's a lot of stars that have to align, but they are a chance to miss the 8.
Did they have the flu go through them last week, Days? Because I heard rumours that they might have had a lot of people sick.
Yeah, Nick Dacos was unwell, and a few others. Yeah, but again,
that would explain how flat they were
flat as a biscuit, and the short turnarounds. And I was really keen last week. I thought that was the way they'd managed their players. I thought that was going to play into their hands, that they were going to be fresh. They looked slow, and they were just smacked across the park. So it is. I was alert but not alarmed last week. It is break the glass. They are really battling. Jeremy Howe, obviously out with concussion protocols. That was horrible in the first 20 seconds. Great contest. Well done from both players. But that meant that they were down a player, and that back line, I reckon you could have been taking a few marks there in the brown and gold, brown dog, because they were crap.
So Craig McKay's 2 biggest losses have come from Hawthorn, over 60 points. So talk about a bogey team. If they come up against each other in finals, it'd just be an interesting, and watch that space, because they have their struggles against them.
The last 5 weeks I did these numbers, so they've gone from the number 1 defensive side to the 8th best defensive side in the comp, and they were the 5th best offensive side, so that's rounds 0 through to 17. This is rounds 18 to 22. So they were number 1, they're now number 8th in defence, and they're the 5th best offensive side, down to 11th in the competition. Like, that's not ideal when you've got a percentage in that period of 84.7. They are battling big time.
Are they going to turn it around? I know it's a vague question, but
no, I think they can. Their game's all on the back of pressure. When we saw them at their best at the start of the season, it was all pressure and out pressuring the opposition for longer. They haven't been able to do that, and whether or not short breaks this time of year, they do add up. So
McCreary is one of their better pressure players.
Who has been missing?
Good time to come up against the Crows this week. If you want to find out where you're at, you get a pretty quick idea. And, they do have a really good record against the Crows, won the last 10, so that probably helps.
That helps.
5 of them by under 10 points.
It'd be fascinating. And we're going to get to this weekend's footy in a minute, but there's so much consequence to these wins and these games on the weekend.
Do you think they're cooked?
I'm just worried about them because, look, Jeremy Howe missing again, and if they lose this week, then it's anyone's game. I think they got Melbourne last round, and Melbourne, we didn't talk about their performance on the weekend, but it was quite strong. It was a really good game between the Doggies, and Daisy tipped them to lose by about 80 points, and I sort of thought it was going to be a little bit closer, but you just don't want them to disrupt that plan.
As a drive-by.
But I love a drive-by. I didn't mind it.
Your bold predictions, which we'll get to in a minute, but no, it wasn't nowhere near 200. What'd you say, 300 points on a Sunday?
Look, we don't have to go back over it.
You got to go back to look forward? No, that's not it. Okay, well, moving on to Harley Reid. I know we've spoke about him to the cows go home on this podcast, but 25 million over 12 years reportedly offered by St Kilda. Is there merit in that? It's a lot of money. Now, probably the linking question to that is, does that mean Nas, we'll call him for short, does that mean he's well and truly gone if they're throwing that kind of money at him?
Oh, honestly, I don't know. I don't know what they're doing there at the minute. I'm so confused. Like TDK on more money than they're going to offer Nas is incredible, and they're not pulling out of that deal because the power of the manager that TDK has and the fact that it's been offered and a handshake agreement, which, again, blows my mind. So, I don't know. They seem like it's almost got a little bit of desperation about it, and now some of the senior players have been linked to being a bit frustrated, and Ross Lyon said that wasn't the case last night. And I'm sure the players are saying that as well, but you can understand why. If you're Cal Wilkie and you've been there for a bloody long time, hasn't
missed a game in his whole career there.
And they're All-Australian, Trevor Barker medalist, and you're sitting there on 600, 700, and Lee Kalir's getting offered more than you, and he's played 20-odd games. You'd be like, hang on a minute, knock on the door, you've got the war chest. How's about topping this up for a minute?
Yeah, it's crazy, isn't it? How it's all going to settle. When's it going to settle? Because they're obviously not going to play finals, and they're going to want to try and...
But Wanganeen Miller, he's the one that you have to keep.
He's the one
that should just be it. He's the best player that is on the open market at the minute by an absolute mile.
Yeah, yeah. I think where good clubs manage situations like that is with open communication. Because if Daisy's right, if you're there and you've performed really well at a high level at a club for 7 years, and every time you go to re-sign, they lowball you or you come up with a figure that is okay but not great, and then they're going out and they're offering these huge amounts of money to players from outside the club that haven't actually bled and performed.
Like you
get frustrated, right? Yeah. So I think good clubs sit down with the senior players and say, hey, guys, this is where we're at as a club. This is where we want to go. We can't get there without going to the open market and getting a centre-half back and getting a ruckman and da-da-da-da. We're going to have to be offering these guys significant money. Do you blokes want to buy into that so we can ultimately get team success and sort of sell the message to the senior players?
Like what the Pies with Darcy Cameron. Yeah, you could have gone and got more, but if you play for 150, we will make sure that over your career, we'll try and look after you, but also we'll make it known how appreciative the playing group are, the supporters and everyone, that you've actually gone, no, I could have, but I haven't, I want to stay.
Yeah, and then the senior players can have their say, yes, I agree with that, no, da-da-da. And then you leave that meeting or meetings with absolute buy-in from everyone, right?
Clarity for the direction.
So none of them can get pissed off when they read something in the paper saying, oh, hang on a second, I've asked for a 4-year deal. They've said we're not giving long-term deals, and here they are offering a 6-year deal to someone. But that doesn't happen. And I think then you get a united playing group. There will be misreporting in the media and whatnot, but you're on the same page with the coaches, with the list managers, and they're going out there to get these players to make you and your team better.
Yep.
Otherwise, you do feel undervalued and you do get pissed off that they're saying one thing to your manager and they're saying a completely different thing to an opposition player.
Who's midfield right now, would you rather, Carlton's or St Kilda's?
Definitely St Kilda's. Yeah.
Because I sort of think they're pretty similar. And the fact that their midfield isn't dominating and winning games and they're not unbelievable, and it's, their ruckman is TDK, who you're going after for that reason. If you're coming into a similar sort of prospect, geez, I'd love to see you absolutely lighting it up. And whether or not he has checked out, the last couple of weeks, from a lot of players haven't been great, but it certainly seems to fit the narrative of, well, the big cash has come and I don't really want to be, putting my head in the hole as much as maybe before.
Because this is getting extreme though. 25 million. Like I know it hit 17 and then it was going to 20, but 20. Like how? But again, talk about frustration amongst players though. Like how
in 12 years' time to be on 2.5 will be, not massive news.
Back to Brownie's point about making sure the players are not okay with it, because I don't think you're going to have to ask for permission from your leadership group.
You should make them across and get a sense. Because if you go to the leadership group,
kick it off, but they need to be aware.
What are your thoughts? Are we happy with this? And honestly, you'd go, geez, I don't know. There's a few whispers already.
Because you go back to the culture piece of how important that is for a club like St Kilda, who have been stagnant for a fair period of time. You've got to start with the foundation of the culture and making sure that your leadership group and then your senior players are all on board with the direction, the short-term and medium-term direction, and the buy-in from that, the understanding. And even when they talk in media, they talk in public, they can have a little bit more grounding and context to the direction. It just gives a lot more, a better vision of where the club's at and where it's going.
Players should never be finding out what's going on within their club through the media. Like that's to me,
that's disappointing, isn't it?
Yeah,
as a player.
Well, there's a bit of that going on in Melbourne, and the senior players are genuinely pissed off at how often that's happening.
Yeah.
Direct links from.
You should always know what's going on to a degree. If it's board level stuff, then no problem. But if it's footy related stuff, and you're waking up this morning reading the Herald Sun and getting information about your club, that doesn't sit well with me in terms of being a successful footy club.
I just picture. So a club like Geelong, just how protected they are.
Yeah,
and they
nothing
don't
leaks.
Nothing
When's
leaks.
the last time something leaked out of Sydney? Never does. Like the really good cultures.
Buddy. We all thought he was going to the Giants. They had 10 mil on the line and no one knew until he announced it.
Yeah.
So there's a difference between the really good successful clubs and the good cultures over a sustained period of time and clubs that struggle and they leak like sieves and communication's poor and they wonder why, senior players get pissed off.
It's going to be a monumental off-season with one of these signings. Someone's going to be pissed off in terms of a football club.
25 mil.
Someone's going to be up for a bucket.
To the Gold Coast, right? And everyone thought it was a huge back pocket. I know I'm not a great player, but
superstar.
$450K a year. That's it. Yeah, that's.
They didn't get you a house or
nothing.
No,
I didn't
a ram or something.
I didn't even get the free flights.
Are you trying to say this is overs or unders?
What are you trying to say?
I don't know. I'm guided by you. 450.
30.
That's a pretty good time.
We've got a goal a game here. 46 games and 45 goals. That's
back pocket.
It's not bad.
Yeah, but I mean, it's nothing. Like, and I know it's all relative now. It's 15 years later, but it's not a lot of money considering what they're throwing around these days.
No. For an expansion club, too, for you putting your life on your line.
I'm certainly not flying over to Nice first class like Tommy Sheridan. Geez, the Freo
and then
Dockers
going to America too. So we're just doing.
I'm not sure what's happened there.
I don't know. We're going to get a lot when he comes back. But all right, last one. Bizarre incident happened on the weekend. Now, it's just come to light in the last sort of 24 to 48 hours. Nick Blakey and Henry Smith. What should you boys make of that?
He's actually gone and got his name changed.
John?
Henry Hopawatu.
Johnny Hopawatu.
You're on the same page. Just went with the first name or the second name. It was wild, wasn't it?
It's weird. I don't know. I hadn't seen it for a while.
And it got cleared. I remember there was an incident a few years ago that got investigated by the AFL when
Nicky Vlosten?
No, it was Hodgie. It was Hodgie and Grant Birchall, right, playing against each other, and one of them grabbed the other on the plums, right?
On the beggar.
And they looked at it and it was inappropriate, but it was two best mates, so they okayed it. I'm not sure the Lizard and Henry Hopawatu are good mates, are they?
I'm not sure, but well done to, I assume, the Lizard who said, mate, let it go away, I don't give a stuff. Because the more light that's shone on it, the more people talk about it and the more chance. We see him with all these fingers going up and how often the phone. Did you see McGovern's kid? Over in the West. He's walking behind Dad there, and Jeremy's in front, and the little kids just looked home going, see ya.
That's probably what the AFL hate, though. That, whether.
But this is because you draw such a line. Flip the bird and move on. Who cares?
No, I agree. But that is not insulting gesture anymore. But it was really nice of Henry to reach out to
for a second time.
to Blake, to Nick Blakey.
Rendezvous later on.
Henry reached out to Nick Blakey and just cleared him of any prostate issues as well.
Yeah,
which is obviously a huge issue, and the EJ Whitten game coming up. So,
Look at you.
I mean, you can come and sit in this chair.
You promise you're not getting paid? It sounded like cash for comment for me.
But in terms of strange things that has happened on a footy field, I think you spoke about it the other day on Agenda Setters as well, when Lukey Hodge said, get off the field.
he sent me off.
Last night he was telling this story. And you started running.
Well, yeah, 2007, like Hodgie was the general, right? And Clarko always used to say, where we can, let's free Hodgie up.
Yep.
And no one loved freeing Hodgie up more than Hodgie.
Still way to defend on no one.
So you can imagine me, like I'm on a lockdown roll on like Lappin or Eddie Betts or someone, you know, and all I hear all day from behind me is Browny, back, left, right, back, pick him up. And so by like the 20-minute mark of the last quarter, I had a gut for mate. So I turn around and I have a crack back and I'm like, any danger, you fucking manning up, Hodgie, right? And he goes, don't you speak to me like that. And I was like, well, don't you speak to me. And we're having this massive blue, middle of Etihad Stadium, and like Fev and Matty Lappin and these guys are going, oh my God, you blokes are off your head. We're up by 100 points. It's not like it was a close game. And then he goes, that's it. Don't speak to me like that. Get off. I was like, Hodges just sent me off, so I start running off. And Andrew Russell, our runner, comes up and goes, what are you doing, Brownie? I said, well, I'm coming off. Hodges just sent me off. He goes, mate, get back on. We're not going to have 5 people sitting on the bench because Hodges sent you off. So I went, oh, yeah, you can't actually do that. That's Clarko's job. That was that's
mate,
true.
That was your All-Australian year that you've.
That's probably why I felt like I had
listen.
the ability to bite back, because any year before, any year after, there's no way I would have ever spoken back to
Dog's going
Hodgie.
all right. Hang on a minute.
Dog's going okay. He's in the AA squad, so maybe I can just chime back at Hodgie. And that was a bit of fun. Oh,
fantastic.
That was the year I did make the team, and I got back to my table, very, very keen to celebrate with my teammates. And Mitch, Hodgie and Buddy had all gone home because they hadn't made the team.
Oh.
So I sat on the table by myself.
Hang on, so you were the only one. You were the only one from Hawthorn, and Franklin, Hodge, and
Mitch.
Look,
They'd all left.
Semi.
They took straight off. So I sat there with Mark Evans and Clarko and
had a good night still, though?
oh yeah, we had a couple.
Did you get some, what's that juice that you drink?
the Guava Cruiser.
Malibu.
Malibu.
No, I went and had a bottle of Grange with the great late Dr. Bruce Reid afterwards, the Essendon Club doctor. So, yeah, good times.
Right.
Sent off.
Thanks for that. That's very interesting. But just some housekeeping before we do turn our attention to this weekend's games.
Mm-hmm.
AFL tipping comp, we have Luke Butcher.
Is Butchie still out in
Butcher's
front?
still out by a point or
so
a
it's
tip.
tightening up.
So 145 as Biggie's
Where it was last week.
Biggerson close a gap to second.
Can't be.
I'm probably butchering this as much as Tommy does normally, but that's
I
fine.
can understand what you're saying.
And Supercoach, Rick's in retirement is winning on 50,045 points.
Is that Rick's with 2 X's?
That is Rick's with 2 X's. I'm not sure if that's some endorsement there.
inside
That
job.
is an inside job for sure. But I think they're coming up to finals because the grand finals is the last
So
round.
it all tipping and Supercoach all goes through?
Yep.
Confirmed?
So, yeah,
Yep.
Confirmed.
That's a maybe.
Maybe.
So stay tuned.
So stay tuned. We're all over it here at the Aces AFL show. But we might as well get into this weekend's game, and we'll start off with the Friday night blockbuster, Fremantle versus Brisbane Lions, and it'd be remiss of us not to mention Nat Fyfe, who just in the last 48 hours has announced his retirement from the game. So 245 games he currently sits, and you'd probably have to put him as number one. You know, Matt Pavlich obviously had a fantastic career, but nearly number one in terms of the best.
Waterhouse?
Clive, pick number one.
Clive the Thrive and Clive.
I remember Clive, beautiful blonde straight hair he had. But you'd nearly put him number one in terms of the best player to don the Freo Guernsey.
Right up there, isn't he? He'll finish 4th on their all-time games played behind Pav. No, he's got Belly covered. Yeah, it's Barramundi, Dave Mundy.
Dave
Mundy,
and then Pav, Aaron Sanderlands and Fyfe on 245. So he can get to 250 if they make the grand final or play 3 finals. So
He'll be sub. That's sort of how he was used. Are you concerned if he comes on and someone gets injured early? Can you run that risk in finals?
you probably are a little concerned, but I think you need, if you're playing finals, you need Nat Fyfe out there for the player he was.
Geez, I'd be concerned if
there's a question mark over it.
You're sitting up all these days.
You couldn't not play him. You couldn't not play him.
The only thing with how Fremantle don't
Okay, if you're the coach,
it would be one of the tougher decisions to make, and obviously we don't know how his body is or how he's tracking, what numbers he's doing, how he's recovering. But if there's any doubt, you'd have to leave him out. If the Gloves
I just think because they're going to have to
acquit.
Yeah, but even there's 2 games left. They need to win both.
Yes.
Freo. So if you're going to trial it for a full game to see how his match fitness is, there's consequences there as well. So how you coach it, I'm not sure. But what he played, I think he played a quarter and a half on the weekend.
Yeah, as a sub, like if you can guarantee he comes on with a quarter of 40 minutes of footy to go, absolutely hard, tough in the midfield, can sneak forward.
If they can go on win the premiership, which is obviously a big if, and he can play a role in that, it'd be as good a story as Crofts last game in 08 and retiring on a high, because I don't think, there's not too many players that have given more of themselves to a club in their entirety than Nat Fyfe.
Yeah. And we talked specifically about the game. So head-to-head the last 4, they're 2 wins and 2 losses apiece. So the only probably differing factor, because they've got very similar percentages and points for and against. So 112.7 is Freo, 111.3 is Brisbane. Probably the form line is different. So Freo 11-1, which is crazy in terms of the back half of the year, and Brisbane are 4-4. So, but the big one is the marking. So Brisbane average 102 marks a game. Freo only average 78. So Brisbane are very more methodical with the way they build up the ball, which is just probably the only glaring, obviously, stat that I when I was previewing the game that I come up with. But in terms of being at Optus Stadium, is there a team that's ahead of the other, knowing that Brisbane are obviously up and down with their form? Had a great win against Collingwood a couple of weeks ago, but still look vulnerable on the weekend and going into this week.
I think Freo absolute morals.
Do you?
Yeah, I do. Especially if they can get out of the blocks and play good footy in the first half, because they've had to come from behind 3 or 4 times in the last 5 weeks.
That ain't the model going forward into finals.
It makes it hard for them. They've been winning, which builds great confidence and resilience, but at home, good fast start against a Brisbane Lions side that, their last couple of weeks have been ordinary. They got smashed against Gold Coast. They bounced back against Collingwood, but how good a form is that, right? Yeah. And then last week got showed up by Sydney. So they've got some areas of concern.
They do, and Fremantle having a potent enough forward line with some out still for the Lions there, so they'll have opportunities to score. Freo have a record against the top 8 sides, defeating 5 of them. So their form against better sides, they almost play better than having the game shut down. Having a look at some of these StatMate specials, Caleb Sarong has had 30 disposals in 4 of his last 5 matches be the Lions, averaging 33.8. Sam Switkowski, the man that I once called Swarovski, has kicked a goal in all 7 matches at Optus Stadium this season. And Charlie Cameron has kicked 2+ goals in 7 of his last 8 meetings with Fremantle, because he's been horribly out of form. So you're probably getting a price there, 3-4-3, 2-2-0. StatMate is your best mate when it comes to building a multi or arming yourself with everything you need to know about a game of footy. Download it now on the App Store, and it's free.
We'll probably be getting Luke Ryan too to shut him down. But hasn't he been a revelation this year? He's not the prancing pony anymore, mate. I call him the galloping stallion, and that is
do you?
The big boss, man.
The big boss. He's evolved from prancing pony early in the season to a galloping stallion now, or colt. He's just an absolute animal. Real X factor for them, which we probably didn't expect.
Well, we thought he was just sort of a couple of possession smartass, like chest out, carry on a bit, but he's a lot more than that.
Well, Tommy's been talking about tooting the trumpet. He's been doing that for Vossi for a long time, and Daisy and I, a little bit undecided, but then he came out, kicked that 6 on the G, which was a magnificent performance, and then he's kicked another 3 on the weekend. Important all real crucial goals. So standing up when it mattered. He's a very integral part, and I think the best thing about this game is you talk about the top 4 chances. PointsBet's got them both to make the top 4, at $3. But the winner puts themselves right in the spot for a top 4 spot. But if they If they lose, I think, Brisbane have got, who have they got in the last round? Hawks. So there
Up
you
there
go.
at the Gabba.
And Freo have got the Bulldogs under the lid.
Yeah, so two really important.
So the consequences are enormous for the fallout of more the loser, because I think the winner's going to solidify themselves.
Is there any concern about Freo and how they had to play in that wet slog, heavy deck, punch on right to the end? I think we've seen fatigue backing up week on week is a real thing.
The only thing is it's the longest trip in football from Brisbane over to the Optus Stadium, so that could play a factor as well. Brisbane have been better away than they have at home this year. That was an interesting game too. Like, it was obviously a nothing sort of last quarter, and then all of a sudden, in the last 5 minutes, they've got it back within 2
Brisbane
points.
And Sydney.
Yeah.
I did put this out there last week that was a danger game.
That was a danger game. Yeah.
Yeah.
So watch your space. Who are you tipping, Daisy?
Fremantle, just zero confidence.
I know. There you go. And you're on Fremantle.
Fremantle with a hell of a lot of confidence.
I'm on Fremantle bandwagon as well. But it'll be a great game on Friday night. Now, we push over to Saturday, the Expansion Cup. Now, I might throw to you, Browny, to introduce this one. But
How many of them did you play in?
Well, a couple, yeah. We lost to GWS in their first ever win back in 2011 at Manuka Oval.
Right.
You'll never ever guess who was by far the best player on the ground that day. Absolutely tore the Suns to shreds. Journeyman, played at 4 clubs. Big ruckman, got the 3 Brownlow votes.
Mummy.
No.
Not Hutto didn't
Kicked
play.
3, had 21.
Jesus. So a ruckman.
Yeah.
Give us one of his previous clubs.
West Coast.
I don't know.
Jonathan Giles. Remember him?
Yeah.
Do you remember Jonathan Giles?
Jonathan Giles,
Yeah.
Mate, instrumental
3
in their first
votes.
Oh, mate, he was fucking...
Jonathan Giles.
Yeah.
Yeah, he became Simon Madden that day.
Gilesy.
So anyway,
bloody good player.
there's a little bit of history for you out there.
That's a pub trivia. He's good. Who got the 3 votes?
So that was, the expansion games were good and to start with, as the young kids got better. But now, this is the most important one to date. And both going really well. I think the Giants have had their issues with ball movement a little bit, but when they are at full health and up and going, they're brilliant. They'll get Jesse Hogan back.
Jakey Stringer hurts him though. That's annoying.
Hamstringer.
Yeah.
Hamstringer. He's kicked another 3, and it's talking about his rise in the back half of the year.
Yeah.
And we all tipped him to
Kicked 14 goals in his last 5 matches.
There you
The
go.
Giants have won their last 5 against Gold Coast. So little bunnies there. I am expecting the Gold Coast Suns to win this one.
Same. Yeah.
Another big scalp on the way into finals. I think they're pretty much cemented. There's a 0.0 stuff all chance of them missing, but continuing to play good footy and breaking one of these little hoodoos is big for them.
And I watched them live on Saturday night, and I've watched them quite closely the last sort of 6 weeks. They're a pretty hard side now, the Gold Coast. I always used to look at them and they're a bit flaky.
Yeah, no.
In big moments, they'd go missing. They've been
Unconditional
consistent.
now.
They're unconditional.
Yep.
And Rao leads from the front.
Yep.
Like, he's just an absolute human
How good's he to watch
cannonball.
live?
Yeah.
Like it's straight
Just
and it's
concrete.
hard.
Just hard.
Yeah.
And they've got Holman and Ainsworth and this Alex Davies, and like across the board, they are a pretty tough, unrelenting side now.
Jeez, it was a good getting Hardwick, wasn't it?
Great
get.
In terms of just like timing
Yep.
of where they were as a club, they haven't won a final yet. So for him to steer, and I saw some footage of him motivating them in the rooms before the game. He's just got them all in awe of some of the words, and you talk about buying and commitment. Well, if they can come out and win, you'll just watch this space, because I think they're going to play in finals, but definitely win and see how far they can go.
So, no, I like what I'm seeing from the Gold Coast, and their backline with Collins and Hewlin and Powell and that. They're not big names, but like they get the
Solid
job
enough.
done. Yep.
All right, if we keep going down, we've got Adelaide v Collingwood. So 1 v 3rd. So Collingwood's still in the 4, but obviously we spoke about the wobbles and Adelaide still the number 1 team in the competition. Daisy, do you want to just take away in this must-watch?
Yeah, I'm really concerned now for the Pies, and the response, it's there, it'll be there, and they're freshened up. Just the way they're conceding goals is a real alarm bells. They were stingy and measly and are very good at making opposition scrap, and then they come and kick a 3 or 4 the other way. That hasn't been the case of late. And we know when you come up against Adelaide, you got Thilthorpe down there who's on fire, a couple of big fog as well. The big boys have been getting it done, and then you've got Smalls down there who are very dangerous. It's going to be a bloody good performance for the Pies to go over and win that one. And they sort of really need to, don't they? They need to get something going because North Melbourne, they've got Melbourne in the last game of the season, which would be a little bit of a false economy if they came out and smacked them and said, we're back. So I think I need to see 2 good performances.
Picture a bit early in the year when they had talk about not really the backs against the wall, but they rested a few senior players going over to Perth and they beat Freo in that really good display. You can't write them off because they are a team of champions and they've got some absolute superstars within their team. Again, the track record in the last fortnight, month, call it, yes, there are some question marks, but you can never write off a good team. So
just the way in which they lost was the concern.
Yeah,
but we have seen, the Gold Coast Suns did that absolutely huge performance, come out the next week and roll the side by 60 points. So you can't get too caught up in the ups and downs, but however, the trend is that they haven't been going up, it's down.
Obviously, there's vulnerabilities defensively, but if they overwhelm them from a midfield sort of possession point of view,
it's got to be dirty prone going inside 50 and then they could get offense off the back of that score from turnover, D50 or backward of centre. Going forward into their forward line that is also struggling a little bit. We knew how good Jamie Elliott was going. He's not at his best. They need to really sort it out, hopefully a longer break. They could have had a little bit of an honesty session, maybe a couple of suds together.
Is it too much reliance on side bottom and Pendles? Like at their age, they should just be role players.
Yeah.
Whereas I feel like they need to be playing really good footy for Collingwood to
They haven't really taken a step backwards though.
No.
So, if they took a step backwards, then it was like, right, who's going to then take the mantle? At the minute, you're right, they're sort of sitting there still as the 3rd, 4th, 5th best players on the ground.
Yeah.
Ned Long's not playing the same footy that he was in
he's
the middle of the year.
He's a bit banged up as well.
He?
And which everyone is this time of year. So it's going to be a good challenge and we'll know exactly where they're at after this because the Crom are flying. It's hard to tip against them. And unfortunately, I won't be. I think they win this one.
You've written here Batman and Robin theory, Darcy Moore. So that's obviously with no how, right? I look at Darcy Moore more, instead of Batman and Robin, I look at him more as like Superman and defence being kryptonite.
So just doesn't want it.
Doesn't like it?
Absolutely hates it.
But this is when he was like the first, say, 15 games of the year, he was good positioning. He knew where his man went, arm across, and then he could impact. Some of the edits last week, talk about a ski rope. He would have been the Southern 80. He would have been back in the Chuka when they're going through Moama.
Yeah, and sides are working it out that you're changing angles on him, right? And you're leading up on him when we're going to lower our eyes and use his direct opponent.
You can throw Frampton into that mix as well. You talk about a leg rope and just touch and feels and assertiveness.
Yeah, and that's not Billy's go. Billy needs to be back shoulder, locked down.
If you get beaten on the lead, you get beaten.
Yeah. So, no.
It's just a question mark.
Are we tipping?
Yeah, I'm tipping Adelaide.
Crows across the board.
Yeah, comfortably margin. Are we 1 to 39 still?
Yeah, I think 1 to 39 would be appropriate.
Yeah.
All right, well, if we keep going, are there any other games you want to mention? Is it a danger game for Hawthorn against Melbourne?
Yes.
Now, Hawthorn are playing for their lives as well.
They're back, aren't they, the Hawks? Hawkball.
They're looking good. But Thursday night was a little elimination final and they got through that in great fashion. You wouldn't want to go into the MCG Saturday against Melbourne thinking, oh, beautiful, we've just got to rock up and win. If they bring that same mentality of ball movement and hardness and whatnot, they'll beat Melbourne. Mm-hmm. But, it is a little danger game.
Yeah. I think Hawks off a longer break, the D's, the spike of, the get up, the little sugar hit and then fall off the cliff. I think that's a real thing. And the weather too is probably the big watch. Having a look here, I think the weekend's going to be absolutely shit out.
Well, so that will play into Melbourne's hands because Hawthorn handball, run and carry,
Saturday.
aim on, impy, running, the bouncing.
Not as bad Saturday, but a little watch. But Sunday's the day that's going to be.
If it becomes a shit fight, that plays into Melbourne's hands a little bit, with Oliver and the big bodies just hacking it forward. But I'm tipping Hawthorn.
Yeah. And a little shout out to Nicky Watson who gets a 3-year contract, the Wizard.
Good on him.
Yeah, Corn's favourite player of all time.
Apparently. He's a good player.
He's a good player. He's fun to watch. If we go to Sunday, we've got
Kangaroos, Richmond. I know it's 17th v 16th.
That's a good watch, isn't it?
This is, well, if the Tigs come out and win, what a season they've had. And if the question on the other side is how are North not beating Richmond? And if it's the other way, well, I think we just go, it's a game North are expected to win, so they just should. I don't think the Tigs are easy beats by any stretch. They are hard. They play a decent enough system that you know what's going to happen. North are going to have to be at their best if they win that one. And I'm tipping the Tigs there in an upset.
Yeah, that all makes a lot of sense. I've loved how Richmond have gone about it this year. Their win-loss categories are obviously Not one of a great side, but they've been competitive every week.
5 wins and a draw.
Yeah.
That's bloody bit. I was tipping 0.
Yeah,
We were
I
tipping,
think Adam Uze, he's not going to win Coach of the Year, but you could make a case that he is coached as good as anyone.
There. I'm not sure we're out of the drawing. 5 and 16, just 5 wins. Well done.
North had the draw down in Tassie against.
Yeah, that's right.
So what are North? How many wins are North?
North are 4 wins, a draw, and 16 losses.
So if they win, they go above them.
Yes.
Yeah. So
point.
I'm rooting for Richmond then.
Yeah,
as a supporter.
interesting game.
I think we just Tommy brought up the lack of respect. I think we were just honest, and we weren't alone, Daisy, when we had the appraisal of if Richmond won a couple of games, that's a good year.
Mm-hmm.
But they've definitely challenged sides and then beat some better teams. That massive win against Gold Coast, we continue to talk about. It's not going to bite Gold Coast on the arse now, but yeah, in terms of a development year and what they've done,
Great.
hats off. And Adam Uze, you can
Under
deserve
over
a
goes
big-
up at 167.5.
You think he'll go unders that
go
game?
Yeah.
Yeah. Be very similar to
If
the
you
way they played St Kilda last
If
week.
you're seeing 85 plus points for both sides, not so sure.
And the other game on Sunday, Doggies versus Eagles. Margin, boys?
Oh, well, if the Doggies want to, they could win this by 100 points.
Yeah. Do they need to? The percentage already pretty strong. I don't know. What have we got the line at here? PointsBet's got the line about 74,
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure, from
Not surprised.
73.5. Yeah. So that's the better part of 12 goals. I could see that happening.
Yeah.
But again, it's if the Bulldogs are up and about and then you sort of cruise through.
I think they will. I think they'll win by a lot.
Yeah.
I think they'll get 150 points. If there's a market for that, they score over 150 points.
It's last week's game, the Western Bulldogs. Norton, the form that he's in since Darcy's come back is incredible. And Sam Darcy in that mark,
Good, wasn't it?
like,
Brilliant.
he plays golf. Apparently, the boys were saying he's a real nutter, throws clubs, gets real pissed off because he's just so competitive and hates being bad at anything. I love that. You could see it's like there's 8 blokes going up. There was only one who wanted it. And it was him, and he came from 10 metres out of screen, full chested, was willing to cop whatever was coming just to save the day and get the win. Can't underestimate how much being a competitor is in this industry.
Yeah, I can't work out why every person that plays the game can't just be a complete prick for 2 hours.
Yes, for 2 hours.
I'm the same. I've knocked Carlton about this. You go out and you shake hands, you stand. No, you would have done the same. You shake hands, you walk behind them, you clobber them in the back. And if they turn around, you go, all day. And if they don't, you hit them again until they do.
Yeah.
You don't give away the free kick.
Play like it's like life and death, just for that 2 hours, and then be the best bloke of all time for the rest of the week,
That's why Das was so highly talented, so rated when he came to the club, is because of his competitiveness. And he had his body troubles early and his match fitness was a question mark over that. But any time at training, he'd fight and scrap and piss everyone else off because of how hard he trained. But just on Norton before we go to the next game, now he's in career best form the last 10 weeks. Now, we look at an All-Australian side. I did a mock one a couple of weeks ago. If you look at his last 10 games, he's a lock. So what's the weighting of putting 10 games solidly in a row or 10 games spread across the season?
Yeah.
Like is he now pushed ahead of
against.
Yeah. So
in
where
that
does he
spot.
sit is the question.
Well, you look at Jeremy Cameron's a lock for a key
Absolute
position
lock.
player.
And Riley Thilthorpe as well.
He's a lock. Yeah.
Yep.
So it's whether they want to put another tall in the pocket
Yeah.
and play like the 3 talls,
So Mitch Georgiades was the other one.
And again, he's been outstanding, but historically it'll be midfielder,
Yeah.
key forward.
Yeah, I did a
Jamie
mock one
Elliott.
as well. So I had, tell me what you think of this, Pickett and Dawson on the flanks, right? Because the hybrid sort of forwards that go through the midfield.
Yep.
Cameron at centre half forward, Jamie Elliott in a pocket,
Yep.
Thilthorpe full forward, and Norton in the pocket, right?
So you put Norton in.
But-
I'd be happy with that either way, but yeah.
And then you've got Gunston and Georgiades, the other 2 guys that absolutely could go in there.
Yeah, so
and maybe the next 2 weeks, like if
Thilthorpe kicks 5 and match winner, and
maybe the next 2 weeks plays a big role. If Jamie Elliott gets kept goalless for the next 2 weeks,
Norton kicks 5 and
maybe a Gunston or Georgiades goes in ahead of him. I don't know, but
Because Jack didn't play the first 2 rounds either.
No.
So in terms of his quality across average
he's getting
quality,
another year too, which
getting
is
another
awesome.
year,
Congratulations.
34
Well
year old,
deserved.
34
Unreal.
year old. Fantastic.
great stuff.
But watch that, and we'll talk about the Coleman medalists. So Jezza, like a little bit of a deflating sort of game on.
Funny, he kicked 4 goals,
Yeah.
and everyone goes, "Oh,
And he's missed
geez."
4 in the last quarter too.
Yeah.
All really gettable. It's sort of got the jitters
And
in front of
you
goal.
keep like 1 point, 2 point, 1 point, 1 point in the matches leading up, and then missed some gettable ones. No doubt
He's not getting 100 now.
Nah. Or will PointsBet have
I think so.
to finish, including finals, on 100 goals? That's paying $6.
They've got Sydney and Richmond.
Well, he'll get Tommy McCartan or Rampy, right? Which is he's not going to kick a bag on them. And then Richmond, he's probably going to get.
That's an MCG.
Bolter will play forward. Who? Miller?
Oh, Broad, I think, went to him last time. And Vlosten, I think you got to play the hybrid. You can't play the big boys.
You can kick a few there. But then finals, right? And they won't be looking for him the same way they are at the moment in finals. So
PointsBet are offering $3 for the Jeremy Camerton. Camerton?
Yeah,
you got it. Yeah, Camerton.
I thought you'd like to typo.
So $3 to kick 100 for the rest of the year. But to land exactly on 100 goals.
100 for the rest of the year. He's got 2 games and then finals. He's not going to get 100 in that.
I just said that.
Yeah. No, I mean in that little time period. Yeah. Oh, you mean in totality?
In totality.
Yeah, gotcha. Yeah, okay.
I agree. Was there a paradox?
I was going for a humour. Yeah. You boys all over it. Dead shit.
So what about they'd be still favourite, obviously, to win that. How do you reckon they're going to win comfortably, or is it going to be a bit closer? Sydney are in good form, if you tell me that.
Sydney just got nothing to lose at the moment.
They're going to disrupt finals somehow, aren't they?
With just free abandon. Like they took some kicks into the corridor, they got turned over, and you go, oh my God! But it worked more often than it didn't, and they ended up exposing Brisbane last weekend.
And we sing his praises a bit, but Isaac Heaney, isn't he just a star of the game?
He's best as the best in the comp by a mile, I think.
Match winner, yeah.
Match winner.
Because of his ability to go forward and kick those goals.
Even his snaps on his left. I know he does it every week.
It's not overly pretty, but it's effective.
Just goes through. But like you're right down the book as soon as he gets a mark.
We've been talking about the Cats and the easy draw they've had. This is probably their toughest opponent, so they need to really switch on here. Yep. This would be where they're looking for a really good team performance that's tighten the screws on all the areas, not taking the piss, giving it to Jezza, really sort of tighten up because they were average against Essendon last Friday night.
I'm going off script a little bit here, but if you could choose to be one player in the comp right now for the whole pack, not just football ability, but, body, looks, career, like everything, who would it be? Because I reckon Isaac Heaney ticks every box. Good surfer.
Apparently that's bullshit. Taylor Adams informed me that maybe it might just be the board in the back for a little bit of show.
All show, no goes.
The official stocking stuffer. He calls himself. Remember that he had on Christmas? Yeah.
With stuffing. Baz Lenker's not doing a whole lot wrong.
Yeah, I love his hair. Anything with hair is good for me.
Living in Sydney, though, as Isaac Heaney.
So who are you going to choose?
Ben Keys.
You're choosing Ben Keys?
I'm on the Heaney bandwagon. A little man crush on that.
I'll come with you. I'll be boring. I can't be bothered thinking.
All right, and the final couple of games.
No questions without notice.
Quick tip here. Quick tip and margin. St Kilda v Essendon Friday night. Not really worried about it. And then Port v Carlton is the other one.
Carlton have to win.
Yeah, they have to.
They have to. And again, you can't take confidence in what they did on the weekend because it was almost, Gold Coast just rolling it out and all of a sudden you spark up and then they fire up and you lose. Port, a chance again to be better than competitive, but I expect Carlton to win.
Carlton should win, but
it was 0.
These sides would have nothing to play.
We've said that a lot all year.
You never know what you're going to get. When sides have nothing to play for, it's hard to know what you're going to get week to week,
Yeah, but then counting down, Kenny's obviously second last. Hurrah with the power.
Actually, this is probably going to be in really poor taste, but most of the comments I say are, how good's Frankie Evans been since he got that head knock from Stephen May?
Yeah,
it's almost like it's triggered something in his brain that is now like footy related.
Every now and then you get a hit and you go, Christ, I'm not going to get hit much harder than that. I can rip right in.
Mate, he kicked 4 and set up he was the best game he's ever played. Yeah. The week before that he was good. Not making light of head knocks, but maybe it was his tooth that was causing him footy issues. I don't know, but
get on him this week for no goals and under 5. Love you, Frankie.
It's the dog's kiss of death. Yeah.
Righto. So
Are we propeller time yet?
I think it's actually one more. No, we'll go through the comments. Obviously, they're a big part of the show.
They are.
The listeners who put their comments on YouTube. So I've got 3 here that I want to read out.
Please do.
Yeah.
Now, comments from you both. Who is closer to a flag, the Blues or the Tigers?
Tigers for me.
Wow.
Yep.
Blues for me.
I'm going to go with Tigers as well because this is a long form answer within the next decade because they're not going to win in the next. Blues aren't.
Blues are a chance to. They're like with what they've got on their list.
Yep.
Centre half forward, full forward, Coleman medalist, double Brownlow through the middle, Walsh, all Australian centre half back.
Nice.
But they're just an opinion.
Now, I'm Sparks03 is my Kevin Durant burner account.
Yeah. Campbell Brown
Can you read that, Browny?
I can because I typed it. Campbell Brown needs to be a regular next season. All the Tommy Talk podcasts with him are genuinely so good. What a fucking legend. I know. No, that wasn't part of it.
I'm glad it said. I'm like, he needs to be a regular because he was so good. I'm like, we haven't recorded this yet. This is printed out before the recording.
Agree. Yeah. And you've been a fantastic host. So old Tommy,
he can stay over in Nice.
Why not get a seat on his own pod?
All that shit's out the road. Now it's time for our favourite segment. We've been so successful in the first 22 rounds.
Could not be anywhere.
We could not any further from success.
Propeller. The dog. You need to bring some good juju.
Yeah, we need a lot
I've saged this fucking thing. Like literally sat in the backyard and we started on fire.
But we might get Browny. Do you want to get up there and take the
take the hat off,
and give us the new club.
So they're not tipping or
The
winning.
Wandon Footy Club.
Wandon Football Netball Club, the Bulldogs, they would be. The Western
it?
Bulldogs. You'd have to be.
Not
That's our old.
I thought maybe the Angry Chihuahuas.
Angry Chihuahuas. No, but congratulations to the Wandon Football Club. Now you're in the running for this week's Prophet Propeller leg. You now go into the running to be on the Prophet Propeller this
Don't
week.
get your hopes up.
Don't get your hopes up. But we're going to put release our bets on socials.
We only get one a week.
Obviously, Tommy's off gallivanting somewhere around the globe.
We've got to wake him up and tell him to get off his Insta bloody promoting sculling champagne and spraying it on people and lock in and have a look at the fixture, Tommy.
Is he in Nice? Is he in LA? Where
LA.
is he?
LA.
Yeah. Have you told the listeners why he's in LA? Or
No, I haven't. He may be
a little bit.
He may be interviewing.
No.
No, we want to go there. We have to cut out a fair segment last week.
Sure.
But he may be interviewing one of the biggest sports stars on the planet.
Michael Jordan.
Michael Jordan
Simone Biles.
isn't. Simone Biles,
Woods.
it isn't. So now we're going to spin it with the help of Brown Dog.
Can you give it a kiss in the middle?
Give it a kiss. Give it some good juju. Daisy's going to give it. Oh, that's a passionate kiss. He's got Love Island on. So Brownie, if you hold firm and T's and C's, Daisy has to give it a hell of a spin. Give us a countdown.
3, 2, 1.
And we're off. Oh, it's another phenomenal spin by Daisy. We're going to be here a while. I know, it's taken 23 rounds, but anticipation is building, filling the pod with words. We'll come back tomorrow. But who we got?
Here we go.
Brownie, who we got?
Aquinas Old Collegians Footy Club.
Aquinas Old Collegians Footy Club. Congratulations to that football club. We will be getting in touch with you in the next 24 hours to get your leg with your representative. But again, fingers crossed, toes crossed, arms crossed, everything crossed that we get a win this week because we have gone 23 rounds without a win.
Okay.
It's okay though because we're positive. We've got momentum. We've had Brown Dog on here. No. We've had Brown Dog on the show, so everything's looking upwards, skywards, goal, great.
Average.
No, but it's been a fantastic show. I'd like to thank you, Brownie.
Brown Dog, yourself. Live studio audience,
Live
too.
show audience. But
Always happy to fill in.
thanks again to our listeners. Please follow us on all our socials. It's been a great week. We will welcome Tommy back next week. But you all have a great weekend. Enjoy the football. Gamble responsibly. And we'll see you this time next week.
StatMate makes AFL player stats easy. At the click of a button, you can discover insights like you've never seen before. Disposals and goals to fantasy points, how a player performs at a certain venue, or even when a teammate is out through injury, StatMate has you covered. Don't waste your time. Become an expert in just a few taps of a button. AFL player stats and insights thanks to your new best mate. Download StatMate for free today.